this video, I'm going to show you how I play Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. This is not exactly how he plays it, but it's in the style of, and it's how I play it. And so if you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to see more. Okay, so what I do, I take my middle finger, I put it on the 3rd fret of the B, and I pick down, and I hit that in the open E, and I slide the whole thing up to the 5th fret of the B while I'm hitting the open E as well. So, and then I go back down to the 3rd fret of the B. Then I take my middle finger, I put it on the 4th fret of the G, and I start on the 4th fret, and I slide down, I pick it, and I immediately slide to the 2nd fret, and then I pull off, open G. And then I do an E major chord, but I'm aiming like for the D and the G. And I got that from Marty Swartz. Thank you so much. He has a great video on this. And so, but I'm aiming for the D and the G when I'm hitting the E major chord. And then I hit open E. And then I'll hit the D, G, and B-ish on the E major chord. And then I'll hit the open E again. So the timing you gotta listen to get it right. It's kind of tricky. All right, and then what I do, after I do that second open E, I take the E major chord shape, and I go up to the 4th fret, and what I'll do is I'm going to slide from the 4th to the 5th with the whole shape. And then I'll hit the open E again, and then I'll hit that 5th one again, and then I'll go back to the 4th one, and then I'll go back to the open E. And then I'll hit the open E again and hit the D, G, B strings of the E major chord shape. So, then I go. And all that is, I'm taking my pointer finger, put it on the 7th fret, at all the strings on the 7th fret except for the E and A. And I take my ring finger, and I pick both strings, the D and the G, and then I hammer on with my ring finger to the 9th fret of the D, and then I keep my pointer finger on the 7th fret of the B, G, and D, or the D, G, and B, and I hit that. So, and then I end up back on the 9th fret of the D with my ring finger. So. Okay, so that's the intro. The next part is simply C major chord, the G major chord, D major chord, to A major chord, to the E major chord. And that's what is called the circle of fifths. Again, thank you for Marty Swartz for pointing that out. All right, so the strumming is something like this. If you listen to it, it's brilliant what Jimi Hendrix does, but it's similar to. And then you'll do this little. All that is I take my ring finger, slide it from the 5th fret of the E to the 7th fret of the E. Use my pointer finger to hit the 5th fret of the A, picking down both. And then going back to the 7th fret of the E and back to the 5th fret of the A. Kind of like Hold All Up, but not quite exactly. It's pretty close. Except for you're not hitting the open D on the Jimi Hendrix version like you are with Hold All Up. But anyway. Then you go back to the open E. And he's doing something cool. He's doing some kind of strumming. What I add here is where I just take my pointer finger, put it over the 9th fret of all the strings except for the E and the A. And I take my middle finger and hammer on to the 2nd or the 10th fret of the B, and my ring finger to the 11th fret of the D. I'm not saying that's exactly how he does it. He does something. He's doing all kinds of. So. There we repeats a couple times, and then it goes in this part. And so all this stuff is, I did a lesson the other day, I'll put it up here somewhere, on how you take a major chord and you can do the inversion of the major chord to do embellishment. If you watch that video, you'll understand this part very easy. And actually, I'd recommend you go ahead and do that because it'll save some time in this video. So you're basically doing the C major chord, and then you're putting your pointer finger on over all the strings of the 5th fret except for the low E. You take I take my ring finger and hammer on the 3rd or the 7th fret of the A, and then I pick. You're picking the A and the D, but then you're going to the also going to the D string, hammering on and pulling it off while hitting the D and the G. And so he does that. The second part is, so when you hit the G, you basically take your ring finger, slide it from the 5th to the 7th fret of the E. I pick down there, and then I pick up on the 5th fret of the D. Oops. And then end up pick down on the 7th fret of the A. So then you do the exact same thing on the D. At least that's how I'm doing it. Maybe that's not how Jimi Hendrix does it, or even how Marty Schwartz does it. But this is how I'm doing it. This what works for me. So you did the exact same thing you did on the C major chord. You inverted it, and then you're taking the D, doing the same thing with the D major chord and inverting it. Same lick. And then you do an A major, and then you do the same thing, the same lick you did on the A or the G major, and then you hit to the E major with and then you just go to since you're doing the inversion of the E major chord with the embellishment, so you go. What I do there is I put my pointer finger over all the strings in the 10th fret except for the low E. And like I have been doing on these other ones, I hammer on my ring finger to the 11th fret while I'm picking the A and the D. And then I'm taking my finger off it, and I'm picking just I'm fretting the D and G on the 9th fret, and I'm hitting it, and I'm repeating it. Then you end up at the same place you started on that lick. I think this is some of the stuff that makes Jimi Hendrix the most brilliant. I mean, his solos are great too, don't get me wrong, but this kind of the rhythm chords he does is it's so amazing. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give me a like and subscribe, and sharing is caring. You know what they say. So share this video with anybody else you think is interested. Thanks so much. Peace out.